Hello everybody, it's the Gruppeteer, and I'm back again with another Gruppeteer Talks About video in which I just talk about a random subject that I think is important enough to make a video about, and I know I don't make these too often, so you know it must be really important. And today's video actually, I mean, by my standards at least, I thought it was important enough to make a video, is pretty important to pretty much everybody, the demographic of people that watch my channel. It's not some big announcement video about something that's happening in my channel. Instead, I'd like to, and this is gonna sound super lame, but hear me out. I'd like to talk about a social pattern that I've noticed in the creation of cinema and movies, and that is that we are about to enter a new age in cinema and the overall creation, production, and making of film and movies. And you're thinking, Gruppeteer, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I don't know. Well, if you've been watching my channel long enough, you know that I am a very big film guy, obviously a very big animation guy, and I'd like to get into making movies one day. And so obviously it's good to stay on top of what's going on in Hollywood, all that fun stuff. So you might have heard that recently Warner Brothers, who are the owners of all the Hanna-Barbera characters and many of the associates, has released a statement saying that they're going to make a gritty remake of, or not a remake, a gritty kind of zombie apocalypse reboot of Scooby-Doo. They're also going to do like a Mad Max style Wacky Racers, and both of which, you know what Scooby-Doo is, but Wacky Racers was also a Hanna-Barbera cartoon back in the, back in the day, back in my day. I'm 15. And so that's, that's whatever. It's kind of, everybody does reboots. You're gonna get a video of me talking about the new Powerpuff Girls reboot soon. It's real good, guys. No, but what really got me about this is that what they're doing is they're making these two movies, but that and other Hanna-Barbera properties, which they're also going to make movies out of, that's all the ones I can remember off the top of my head, are all going to be intertwined in a cinematic universe of Hanna-Barbera characters that Warner Brothers will flesh out over the next, I don't know, let's say 10 to 15 years, because, movies, you don't just take them out of the oven. Yeah, they take a while. So you're thinking, Gruppeteer, what's the big deal with that? Well, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, I'm not gonna, I guess I'm excited, whatever. I don't really care that much. What I do care about is that you see the trend with that. Obviously, we saw, the Avengers, how all those Marvel movies kind of were all set up for this big, giant, like, the most epic thing ever, and then there was a sequel that was alright. But we see these movies being, same thing with, what DC's been doing lately, kind of with Batman vs. Superman. They're working on that whole Justice League thing. If you saw Batman vs. Superman, you see that it's not easy to make these cinematic universes, people. That movie was, not good. And they're not the only people doing this. Universal, which, Universal, Earth, the logo thing, who are the owners of, like, Frankenstein, The Mummy, and, like, Dracula, and all those, like, old black and white movies, are also rebooting everything, and they're going to make a cinematic universe out of those Universal characters. And this seems to be a trend going on. And this isn't exactly the first time this has happened. I mean, but it's the first time it's blatantly happened. Like, there are, like, theories that all of Tarantino's movies take place in the same universe, because in the background you see things that show up in other movies, or, Pixar movies all take place in the same universe. But this is different than, like, some like, picture I have in one movie showing up in another movie, and it's like, oh, wow, what a funny reference. This is literal characters from other films coming together, knowing they exist. It's like the Timmy Turner Powwow, if you remember that. That was a thing. That was a thing back in the day. It was, look it up. Quiet. Stop. Know your place. Anyway, so the thing with these cinematic universes is that big movie studios, and you have to understand, I had back when I had Cartoons vs. Cancer with Mr. Warburton, he summed it up perfectly. He said that animation, and this can go for movies as well, isn't cheap. The reason that there's all these, like, reboots and remakes and stuff coming out is because networks already know that this stuff works. That's why they're bringing it out again. Because if you were in that position, you'd do the same too. Would you take a chance on something you have no idea if it's going to go well and put $1 million in that, or put $1 million in something you know is going to profit a lot more? That's what movie studios are looking at now. They're looking at these ideas that people already had that worked really well in the past. They're seeing that these two, like, they put the puzzle piece together of Batman, Superman, everybody loves both of them, put them together. Ooh, what else do people like? Well, they like all the DC heroes. Wait, we had a Justice League, didn't we, back in the day? Make that a movie. But to do that, you don't just throw all these characters nimbly bimbly. It's gonna be one mess of a movie. See Age of Ultron. You gotta make, how do I say this? Training wheel movies, I guess. Movies that build these characters, build their character, build these characters' character. You know what I mean? Kind of build them up, let people know who they are, show them in action, and then use that to plant the seeds for a tree. But you can't just plant, it's a tree with one seed. You gotta have a few. Okay, well, you can plant a tree with one seed, but that's not the analogy I'm trying to do here. Is that all these little seeds are going to create to one giant plant, and that giant plant is going to be, Batman versus Superman, the Justice League thing that's coming out, or, the Avenger kind of things. I guess Civil War is the most prominent one to do right now, or the up-and-coming Hanna-Barbera one. So what I'm proposing, because I'm trying to make this short, is that the future of cinema is going to be, well, I don't know what the entire future of cinema is going to be, but we're going to enter a new era of cinema, which is starting very, very soon. It's already kind of started, but it's not really going to get into full effect. Marvel and DC were smart. They were the front runners of this trend. And this isn't just something that I read online. This is purely just a theory that I have. I mean, I don't know if it's real or not. I'm not a movie analyst. I just like studying it. But what's happening is that all these companies know that these things make a lot of money. And so what they're going to do in this new era of cinema we're entering is that there's going to be a lot more movies that are cinematic universes, movies that are training wheels for other movies. So we'll not only see an increased, amount of movies coming out a year probably for a certain amount of these studios, but we'll see a lot more, hopefully a lot more character development in these movies, because if you have all this character development, you have to put a lot of effort in these guys to make them believable. And if you have all that character development in one movie, just like, say Iron Man or the Hulk movie, you can just put it in the Avengers and you already know their characters because you watch that. That not only means that we're going to get movies with more people, more character, more, just meaningful stuff, that also means we're going to get more movies, just like overall, and the companies are going to get more money, because it's like you watch the Avengers, you're like, wait a minute, why is Thor and Captain America being such a jerk to each other? And you're like, well, what if their personalities are different? And then you go back and you watch both the movies, and Marvel's like, here, you can buy them from us, and then, they get the money from that, they get the money from that. It's a two-step program, and you're pretty much just doing it to watch one movie. And I'm not saying that's good, I'm not saying that's bad, because this video is going to come back in a few years to haunt me if this either is right or wrong. I'm just saying that personally I think that is the future in the era of cinema. So besides that, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I'm making a video about my thoughts about that new Powerpuff Girls. It's real good, guys. But besides that, I will see you guys later. Currently, I have no idea who's the next guest on Cartoons vs. Cancer. Might be. I can't speculate. I can't say anything. So, besides that, I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a great day. Oh yeah. Why?